Common misconceptions about degree apprenticeships. In this video, I'm going to cover 7 misconceptions that people commonly have about degree apprenticeships, exactly what it says on the tin. Just before we do that, let me introduce myself. My name's Owen. I'm a degree apprentice and I help people get degree apprenticeships in the engineering, technology, and finance industries. Last year, I helped a whole bunch of people get degree apprenticeship offers. These are some of the companies: JLR, HSBC, Rolls-Royce, Amazon, KPMG, just to name a few. And I have a program where I basically help people get their dream degree apprenticeship offer. We've had some insane results. You saw on the last slide, got 2 more on this slide. So that'll be link in the description, but don't have to worry about that for now, because now we're going to get into the video. Common misconceptions about degree apprenticeships. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. I want my child to go to university. This is what I hear from parents. This is specifically addressing the parents. When the choice gets offered of a degree apprenticeship, they usually come up with something like this: I want my child to go to university. And that's the misconception there. The misconception is that a degree apprenticeship is not university. It's always portrayed as this university versus degree apprenticeship. You either go to university or you go and do a degree apprenticeship. And parents want their child to go to university, therefore they see degree apprenticeship, they see, no, that's not as good a route, that's not university. Well, that's the misconception, because a degree apprenticeship is going to university. Okay, it's in the name. You do get a degree. It's just a different way of doing things. Okay, so don't think of a degree apprenticeship as sort of like an alternative to university, like you're not going to university, like you're not good enough to go to university or whatever. It's just a different way of doing the university, because you're still going to get a degree at the end of it. Okay, so that's the first one. Another misconception is that degree apprenticeships are only with bad universities, right? Because all the good universities, they do a normal university degree, and then if you have to do a degree apprenticeship, you just get left with some rubbish universities, right? That's the misconception there. Well, actually, there are Russell Group universities. Russell Group universities are like sort of the best universities in the UK that do degree apprenticeships. You can see 3 of them here: Warwick University, University of Exeter, and Queen Mary, University of London. So you can actually do degree apprenticeships with these really high quality Russell Group universities if the quality of the university is something which is important to you. Degree apprenticeships are not as good as university. That's another misconception there. Okay, let me just break this one down for you. So in a degree apprenticeship, you're going to be getting 3 to 5 years of work experience. Okay, you're going to be working for a company. You're going to be learning all sorts of things about the industry, lots of skills, lots of different softwares, how to actually do things. You're going to be applying your knowledge practically and gaining those experience through real life projects you're going to be working on. On top of that, you're going to be getting a £20,000 to £40,000 salary. So it's going to start off around 20,000, 22,000, 25,000 your first year. And every single year, you're going to be getting pay rises. And by the end of your degree apprenticeship, you could be earning about £40,000, that sort of realm there. And on top of that, the degree's free. So you're not going to get that debt. When you go to university, normally you're having to get that student loan, get those tuition fees, and be paying that back for the next 40 years. In a degree apprenticeship, your university degree is completely paid for, so you're going to be no debt. Okay, so there's a bit of a double bonus there. You're getting the salary and no debt. And what that means is you're going to be massively more employable than university graduates. Okay, because after you've done 3 or 4 years, 5 years of a degree apprenticeship, you've got all this experience. You can list off like 8 projects you've worked on. You know all these specific things from the company, from the industry. You're way more employable than a university graduate who the only work they've done is like they've written a few dissertations and like an essay. Right? They've never actually done any practical work. They've never done any practical projects that actually matter in the workplace. Okay, so you're going to be way more employable once you finish your degree apprenticeship than any of the other graduates. 94% of degree apprentices stay on with their company afterwards. Okay, so you're basically guaranteed a job afterwards, but you can also go to other companies as well. So it's actually a thing where a lot of JLR degree apprentices, JLR's a car company, right? A lot of those engineering technology degree apprentices, they go on to work for F1 teams, right? And they're massively more employable. F1 teams would rather hire a degree apprentice who's gone through the scheme with a company than just some random graduate who's never done a day of like real work in their life, basically, at an actual company. Because you're massively more employable. That's why degree apprenticeships is such a good route. And like these 3 factors here, that explain why degree apprenticeships are actually now considered the better option by professionals, okay, especially in the engineering and technology industries. If you actually have a conversation with some of these people, like I've done, these professionals in these industries, they all say degree apprenticeships are a better route than university. Okay, so if you listen to like the experts in the field you're interested in, whether that is engineering, whether that is technology, they say degree apprenticeships is the better route, it's the better option, it's the better alternative to just going to university traditionally, where you're not going to get the work experience, you're going to get in loads of debt for no reason, and then also you're not going to be that employable because you haven't done like that work experience, you haven't done those real life projects. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next misconception is that you're going to have no social life, no friends. Right, because at university, you can go to university, you're going to make loads of friends, and then you can go out on the evenings, weekends, all this sort of thing. And then so when people talk about degree apprenticeships, it's seen as the opposite. You're going to have no friends, no social life, because you're having to do a full-time job, you have to work, you can't do anything, all that sort of thing. You're not going to university, you've got no friends. That's a misconception. Well, actually, that's just not true. Okay, you can have a really good social life and loads of friends on a degree apprenticeship. I've actually made a full video on this, which I'll put in the top right now if you want to learn more about specifically the social life of degree apprentices. But you can have an amazing social life. There's going to be like paid for company socials. You've still got you're going to meet people from university who are on your course, other degree apprentices. You can go to university clubs and societies. You can do stuff on your weekends, your evenings. You've got holidays you can do loads of stuff. This is just like some random photos that I've collected of stuff I've done over the past year. Like, you can have a great social life and great friends even when you're doing a degree apprenticeship. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. That misconception is just not true. Okay, on a degree apprenticeship, you can have a really good social life and you can have plenty of friends, no problem at all. The next one is really hard workload. Okay, this is something that's said about degree apprenticeships. Is going to be a really hard workload. People saying they're having to work evenings, weekends, saying it's unmanageable, all this sort of thing. And it sort of makes sense where it's coming from, right? Because at the end of the day, you're doing a full-time job and you're also studying for a degree at the same time. Okay, so it makes sense there's going to be a bit of a workload. But I think this specific one gets over-exaggerated, and I think people, especially people who are looking to apply for degree apprenticeships, they're considering that option, they think about this too much. Okay, because yes, there is a big workload. It makes sense, you're doing a full-time job and a degree. However, it is perfectly manageable. Okay, I see too many people just worrying, oh, there's too big of a workload, I don't want to do a degree apprenticeship, I'm going to go to university. And from what I've actually found, university is actually a bigger workload than degree apprenticeships. Like, from what I've found, this is just like a purely like anecdotal from what I've seen. People I know who've gone to university, they have so much work to do, so many projects, essays, all this sort of thing, exams they have to revise for. They're really struggling with the workload. Whereas I've actually found the workload quite good. So I actually released a course recently about like how to do well in a degree apprenticeship. And one of the things I said was that I'd sort of done zero work outside of working hours or university days. Okay, so that's where I sort of want to battle this misconception. Yes, there's a big workload, but it can be managed if you know the right techniques, if you know the right schedule. Okay, if you know how to schedule your time, do this, deep work, all this sort of thing, then you can perfectly manage the workload. And that's what I've managed to do, because I've got the productivity, like productivity hacks, whatever you want to call it, because I've scheduled everything, I've done things in this certain way. It means I've managed to just manage that workload fine. I've done zero work. I haven't done anything in my evenings, anything in my weekends. All the work I've done for university has been during working hours, and it's been during university days. I haven't done any like out of working hours, that sort of thing. Okay, so it's perfectly possible. And by the way, if you're interested in that course where I teach you how to basically do zero work outside of your working hours, link will be in the description. But let me just battle that misconception. Yes, there can be a big workload, but it is perfectly manageable, as I've managed to do during my degree apprenticeship. So the next one is degree apprenticeships are for people who aren't good enough for university. Okay, so with degree apprenticeships, the grade requirements are much easier than university. So for certain courses at university, it might be 3 A's, something like that, or maybe an A star and 2 A's. If you look at the degree apprenticeship equivalent, it's usually something like a B, B and a C, or a B and 2 C's, or 2 C's or something, right? So it's much easier grade requirements. You don't have to be getting those A stars, those A's to get into a degree apprenticeship. It's usually grade requirements are like on the B, C sort of level, right? But what that means is when people see that, they then sort of get turned away from degree apprenticeships because they think, oh, degree apprenticeships are just for people who are getting B's and C's. Okay? And they basically think, oh, university is for the good people who can get A's and A stars or whatever. Degree apprenticeships are the people who get B's and C's. Okay, and that's a misconception. Okay, because just because the requirements of degree apprenticeships are B's and C's, just because they don't matter as much, doesn't mean like they are only for people who are getting B's and C's. As an example, I got 3 A stars. I'm doing a degree apprenticeship. Okay, so I was applying for degree apprenticeships where you only need a B and a C. And I got 3 A stars. Okay, so it doesn't matter. There's loads of people who are getting A stars, getting A's, whatever grades are. Grades really don't matter for degree apprenticeships. It's just about as long as you meet the minimum requirements, It's then about, do you have the work experience? Do you have the skills? How good are you in the interview? How good are you in the online test? How good's your CV? What experience do you have? That sort of thing. Okay? So let me just battle that misconception. I got 3 A stars in my A levels, and I'm doing a degree apprenticeship. It's not that university's for the clever people and degree apprenticeships for the people who aren't good enough to get into university. It's not that. Okay? It's just there's lower grades for degree apprenticeships. You can do whichever one you want. Degree apprenticeships are a really good package. Okay, and then moving on to the final one. Degree apprentices don't do real jobs. Okay, so there's a misconception about degree apprentices that, and just apprentices in general really, that when you're an apprentice, you're going to be like making the teas and coffees, right? That's what you're going to do. And maybe, yeah, sure, like 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, then that's what apprentices did. You would have been in the office, you would have been making the teas and coffees for everyone else, okay? But that's not how it works these days with degree apprentices, okay? You're going to be doing real jobs. You're going to be working on real life projects straight away, okay? So in my degree apprenticeship, within 1 week, I was already working on a real life project. Okay, you're going to be real. It's not going to be like you're going to be sitting there for 3 years making teas and coffees. Like by the end, you're going to be some sort of barista, right? You're going to be working on real life projects straight away. In my first year, I've designed stuff that's actually been built. I've seen drone footage where it has been built, and I'm a first year degree apprentice. Okay, so you are going to be doing real jobs. You're going to be doing basically the same jobs that any graduate would be doing, or any sort of just anyone would be doing, right? You'll be doing the same jobs that some sort of 26-year-old might be doing. You're doing that at the age of 18, 19, and 20. Right, so it's like you're getting that head start compared to graduates who they're going to be doing this when they're 23, 24. You're getting all this really good work experience, this really good project experience. You're going to be getting it straight out of A levels, straight out of secondary school when you're 18, 19, 20, something like that. Okay, so that's the final misconception. You're not going to be sitting there making the teas and the coffees, don't worry. You're going to be working on real life projects, basically from the get-go. So it's like the first couple of days, they need to do all the admin stuff, like sort out your passport, your national insurance number, your bank account, do some training modules, do some like admin HR stuff. But basically, within like the first week, within the first couple of weeks, you're going to be straight onto projects. Okay, and you'll be doing like real stuff that's going to be making a difference to the world, practical stuff that's going to be really good for your future. Okay? So there we go. Those were the 7 misconceptions. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that has basically enlightened you a bit more about degree apprenticeships. If you are definitely considering this route and you want to have a look at going down the degree apprenticeship route, then once again, as I mentioned at the start, I do have a program which has helped people get loads of offers, and another 2 testimonials for you here, which you can have a pause and have a read. But if you are interested in that program, go click the first link in the description, and that will take you to everything you need to get your dream degree apprenticeship offer. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.